Hi, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Szewc, and I am going to read to you today The Race for President. We're going to skip around a little bit because this is an old book, but it explains a lot of important information that you might need to know, and it might answer some questions that you are wondering about. So this book was written in the year 2000, and in that year, these two men were running for President of the United States. This man was Albert Gore, and this man was George W. Bush. So before we learn about who's running for president, we should learn about what is the job. The President of the United States is the leader of our nation. He or she is kind of like the principal at your school. It is the principal's job to do what is best for the students in the school. It is the president's job to think about what the people need and what is best for the country. The president decides how the country should be run. He or she appoints many important officials, such as judges and ambassadors. The president also has the power to make treaties or agreements with other nations. By doing this, he or she helps keep the peace with the rest of the world. So this is a picture of former President Clinton greeting the British Prime Minister, Tony Blair. So how does a person become president? First, the people who want to become president are chosen as candidates. Then the citizens vote for their favorite candidate in an election. The winner of the election becomes president. Who can become president? It has been said that anyone can grow up to be a president, but there are rules. To run for president, you must be at least 35 years old. You must also be a citizen born in the United States and have lived in the country for at least 14 years. What does it mean to run for president? In the race for president, each candidate tries to win the most votes. In their campaign, they try to get their message across to people all over the nation. Their message is a promise of what they will do if elected to office. They tell people how they plan to make our country better. The finish line is Election Day, which takes place on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. And for president, it's every 4 years. So this year, Election Day is Tuesday, November 3rd. How long does a president stay in office? Well, after becoming president, a person serves for 4 years. That is one term. After that, he or she can run for office again to serve for another term of 4 years. But no president can be elected more than 2 times. This has been a law since 1951. Before that law, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was a president 4 times. And the shortest term of president was William Henry Harrison. He was only president for 31 days. How does a person become a candidate? Well, boys and girls, I'm going to show you that you might have seen the donkey or the elephant. Those are the 2 major parties in our country. The Democrats have a symbol of a donkey, and the Republican symbol is an elephant. You also might have seen debates on television. That is where the candidates talk about their ideas. And then on Election Day, who can vote? Anyone who is a U.S. citizen and is 18 years old can vote. In the early history of our country, only men who owned property could vote. After the Civil War, all men were allowed to vote. And in 1920, women were allowed to vote. How does a citizen vote? On election day, citizens go to the polls. Sometimes schools are polling places. At the polls, there are voting machines. The machines keep account of the votes. Many machines are now computers. Okay, so these are the two people that were running for president in 2000. Okay, but after the president is elected, they become president on noon on January 20th of the next year. And this is the oath that they must say. We've also had many famous presidents. Some presidents are so famous everybody knows their face. Just look at some money. Boys and girls, do you know the name of this president? That's right, it's George Washington. He was the first president in 1789. Do you recognize this president? That is Abraham Lincoln. He was the 16th president. He was also the tallest president. There is Franklin D. Roosevelt. You saw him before, but I'll move this, there's a glare. He was president the longest. This president is named John F. Kennedy. He was the youngest president ever elected. Okay, then we've had a few famous first ladies. Dolly Madison was famous because she saved a very important painting of George Washington from the White House. Eleanor Roosevelt helped her husband with many programs, helping people with the war and helping kids in neighborhoods. And Hillary Clinton became the president's wife in 1993, and then she ran for president herself in 2016. I will tell you, boys and girls, this race was in 2000, and the winner was George Bush. You might have heard of him. Excellent job, boys and girls.